Good afternoon, my friends. Thank you for coming back to another Tony Montana video. Appreciate the time you spend watching my videos. I'm very busy. This is the busy time of the year. It's not that hot, and I don't mind the cold, and the dogs don't mind the cold. So we are enjoying a lot of time out and a lot of time working out. And before the summer comes back and we don't do anything, we're lazy in the house because it's too hot outside for my dog to be outside. Anyway, we are going to talk about. Let's see what could we talk about? This is what a good topic. Uh, Breeding your own versus buying. Okay, breeding your own or I guess showcasing your own versus showcasing what you buy. A lot of people take a huge pride in saying, "Oh, this was bred, not bought." I'm sure you guys have seen that on different groups, forums, and yes, I applaud the people that that breed and keep their stock because they're aiming to have I would assume better dogs than they received. But everyone pretty much starts with somebody else's dogs. Okay, we can agree on that. We can agree that uh, unless you were born into the dogs, meaning your parents already had these dogs, your family already had these dogs, and they happen to give it to you. But I could just still say that that's somebody else's work you're taking, even if it's your father, even if it's your uncle, grandparent. You're taking on their work, and either you are following their rules and ways of breeding these dogs, or you're completely changing it and you're doing your own thing. Breaking all the teachings that your parents and your family members have given you. Okay, I really think that really if you are, I guess, in the 21st century, and nowadays you can't have a yard. Let's be real. That having a yard full of dogs is something of history. We are not going to have people with 20, 40, excuse me, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 dogs in a yard. That's really, I don't think that's going to be allowed in any state within a year, 2 years. That's going to be completely historic. Okay, we'll be looking at pictures because there's not going to be any current change setups because the public does not understand the concept. Plus, there are many that do have change setups, but either do not have proper change setups or they leave the dogs out there on their own without this socialization that is required, time with the dogs that is required, because they feel like, all right, they're there. I'll just give them food for enough for 2 3 days, enough water for 2 3 days, and I don't have to deal with it. They do the shortcuts, and I'm not applauding. I don't applaud anyone that it's in the dogs and is not doing it's not going above and beyond for the dogs. These dogs, my dogs, like I said, a lot of times I even got this chair because a lot of times they're not in the cushions. They're on my sofa, and a lot of times there's no space for me on the sofa, and that's okay. That's why I don't buy new sofas. Not because I can't afford it. It's because any sofa that I have will eventually be taken over by the dogs. For the meantime, I let these dogs be on my couch until it's really required to take, to buy another one, and then I really have to think about which ones to buy for that purpose. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to the concept, thinking of breeding and showing your own versus showing and breeding somebody else's work. All right, I think that even if you're not even if your plan is to breed your own, as I said, there's not enough space. Nowadays, just chain spots are not good. So The chain spot meaning in the eyes of the public. Okay, not to me, but it's not. It's so this means that people, individuals, families are just going to have a very limited amount of dogs that they could have. Why is that important? Well, in order for you to have your own strain and continue further with your own strain of dogs, meaning you're breeding your dog, you're showing your dogs in any whatever capacity you're looking for. Is it one of those wall climbing dogs, and you want wall climbing better height, whatever, or weight pulling dogs, that whatever task you're looking to have for your dog, it's going to be difficult to maintain um, the strength of the genetic strength of the dogs without eventually doing an out, meaning I meow, and my cat, he wants me to pet. So you could keep the and breed within your own strains, but the inbreeding coefficient is just going to be too much at some point. That dogs are going to be too inbred, that they become full of genetic defects, physical defects, and perhaps they're just again mutations that you're not looking to have. And then at this point, if you really are into the dogs and quality of the dogs, most people will look for a dog that can be an out for this family, for the family you're trying to work, for the family you're trying to create. So you're always going to have to pretty much almost always are going to try to you're going to have to get a dog from someone else. So it is this pride of, oh, I bred this, didn't buy it. It's sometimes it's better for you, because it depends on who you are. Are you a person that likes to take your dog to the ADBA shows and do all these things, but really don't have the space or the time to be thinking about breeding, watching them grow? Maybe you just want dogs that are proven to be able to pull, slap mill raise, whatever the event may be in an ADBA show. Nowadays they have a lot more events, so these dogs are going to become more diverse for the individuals that are enjoying this. I do have one dog that I enjoys, for as an example here. They love the slap mill, loves it. So I think he would do well. I think I'm gonna one of these days on an ADBA show, I'm gonna take him for the slap mill race, because I want to see how he compares to other dogs. I do find him to be very, very, very eager to work that mill. So if I was a person that enjoys that aspect, then I would breed that dog to a female that has that same qualification. Either within my dogs, as an example, or again, if I was starting from scratch and this is my training process, I will grab some other dog to another female that has that tendency to love that flat meal race, and then we'll create dogs that consistently love to run on the mill. So you may not get the best or the fastest, but you will be getting consistent dogs that consistently enjoy running that mill. Okay, and sometimes you may want to buy from the person doing that, crossing for this mill race. And again, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just giving you this event as an example. Okay, so. And if you're into this event and that's really what you want to do, not deal with trial and testing and error, like, oh, oops, it didn't work, this and that, then you would do better by just continuously buying and not breeding, and just buying from someone that you know is known in the circle of slap meal race, as an example again, that you're getting them from, and that you're getting them from dogs that are I don't know if they give titles in these slap meal races, but imagine they did give titles. Imagine, because it's confirmation they do give titles. I'm not sure if weight pulling. I don't do weight pulling. I see it. I've seen it, but I don't do weight pulling. But I would imagine they do not. Well, I would proudly people always want that participation award. So everyone wants to have some sort of title or this and that, because it makes the person feel better, because definitely the dog doesn't care what's on the paperwork. But a lot of people enjoy that. Oh, my dog's a champion. My dog had enough points to become a champion in whatever confirmation. I know definitely confirmation has that champion, grand champion, through points. So if you're a person like myself, like, as an example, that really enjoys all the phases of a dog, from puppyhood, from being born to being an old dog, because you really have to respect the dogs and give it a nice, enjoyable life. For those individuals, perhaps it's because of the enjoyment we get. Breeding and keeping dogs, or keeping it within the family and friends, will allow for perhaps, maybe, I don't know, enough genetic diversity to continue a line, to continue honing the line for a couple of generations at least. I mean, 3-4 generations, depending on how many dogs each family member, each friend has of your dogs, and that way you're able to, everybody has a couple of them that a couple of dogs that are well taken care of, well fed, well, socialized. And when I do say socialized, I really mean with people, because a lot of these dogs and most of my family and friends won't be able to do what I do here. Because I'm always on top of them. I'm always, reading their body language and their sounds, to make sure that there is some sort of harmony. So most of my dogs have harmony with each other. There's a couple of dogs I already mentioned in previous videos that I cannot, including puppies, that I cannot have them together anymore. That they already had this fight, and dear old dad here, he's the type that if he sees fighting, he's gonna jump in. So I definitely, right now he's with 2 females, so they're relaxing there. So he's relaxing with his daughters. But anyway, hope you enjoy that, and perhaps you have your thoughts on the topic. I really think that in order for you to have a healthy line, you do have to get some outside genetics at some point in order for you to maintain that, and keep that in mind. And sometimes you're starting off in your genetic or your breeding program, but you always have to keep in mind perhaps dogs outside your program that will click well with your dogs, and you keep that in mind, that so that in a couple of generations of your dogs, you can bring that blood into it without actually completely diluting it, because again, you pick the dog that would be within like the larger family of dogs. I don't know if you understand that. You can make, I'm gonna use some old words here, because I consider this old words like red boy or red boy jack or bolio tombstone. To me, those are old words. But perhaps, like for the example, you have a breeding program that will red boy jacko, bolio tombstone, that you're working on, and then perhaps you have picked a future stud or a future female. Yeah, what could be also a female if you wanted to buy it. But for this example, would be stud. Okay, a future stud that is also a red ball jack or bolio tombstone or tombstone bolio, however you wanted to say it. And it's still, it's still within the family, but not necessarily, obviously, because you're breeding a smaller cluster of those that are connected with the stud, just to wake up that, that genetic energy, that synergy, that like hybrid vigor, that will definitely, help your program. And again, allow a couple of more generations into your program. And at that point, we're talking about when you're done and you use that other the stud. Now you're perhaps, let's say, you're 5, 6, 7 generations into your program. Now you're 5, 6, 7 generations into your program. At this point, you should have frozen some dogs. Obviously, your best dogs within those 5, 6 generations. You should already have frozen. And now 6, 7 generations on there, you can grab one of the perhaps first or second in your generation frozen semen and put it onto your tight dogs are on the 7th generation. That will there is enough genetic distance between the frozen sperm DNA and the female you're crossing it to or putting it, that I would say the likelihood is going to be treated, genetically speaking, as a cross, or but you're not. But you might be your aunt would be an ancestor going way back, that in the pedigree of the 7th generation female, it's way back in the pedigree, perhaps, like I said, 5th generation, 6th generation back, it had that dog. All right? I'm not going to say more about this. I already spoke 17 minutes on it. I wanted to make sure I put some content on my channel. Like I said, right now I'm going to go back to, it was raining, so I'm going to go back to walking dogs and doing stuff with my dogs, because these females need to get some exercise as well, so that they stop scratching my legs and my arms with those fine little nails they have. Anyway, I really hope you had a nice Christmas or holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate, and that you are enjoying the last few days of the old year, and that you welcome the new year with success, happiness, and a lot of love. This is Tony Montana, signing off.